Hello and welcome to the first series of the Tesla Technician on the 12-volt battery replacement. Some of you may be aware that the 12-volt batteries on Tesla Model S's, especially the earlier ones, tend to go out and have issues. So one thing that the owners are finding themselves having to do is replace the 12-volt batteries. Now, most of the Model S's are still underneath warranty, but some of us have managed to get past the mileage warranty and are now without warranty and finding ourselves needing to replace the Model S battery. That being said, this tutorial will give you an idea of how that's done and some of the options out there and the things that didn't work. So if you own a Model S and you've seen this error message, you know what it means. It's time to replace the 12-volt battery. The computer looks at the voltages coming off of the battery during its charge cycle and how quickly it depletes, and it makes a calculated decision on when the battery has degraded to the point that it's no longer reliable. And then it presents this message. When this message presents itself, we have a couple of options we can go with. Most of us would probably choose to go to the Tesla Service Center and have them perform the work. Here's a example quote that I received when the message popped up on my system, and I went ahead and gagged at the cost. $332 to replace a 33 amp hour 12 volt battery. Now, the itemized list, when we look at it, has a lot of things, including an $80 SAE adapter for the negative terminal. This is changing the IT terminal to a standard post or SAE post for a battery. Those are pretty steep numbers, and most of that stuff isn't necessary to replace. In fact, all of it except for the battery isn't necessary. Now, it is important to note that the labor that they're charging is only $50. That's pretty remarkable. They quote 20 minutes of labor. I can tell you from firsthand experience there's no way they're doing this in 20 minutes. If you aren't willing to spend the 300 and some dollars on Tesla to perform the maintenance themselves, you're left with the question of where do I get a battery from and what do I do? The first option that I came across was the Mazda Miata battery sold by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Their battery meets the specifications. It's AGM. It has pretty close to the same amp hours, and it had a 3-year warranty. It seemed like a pretty good option. However, when I purchased the battery and lined it up next to the Tesla battery, the main and obvious difference is that the terminals are the SAE terminals. Now, this isn't such a problem on the negative post because, well, we're spending $80 on a negative post adapter that should already be in our car. The problem comes in on the positive post in order to connect it up to the circuit board that is underneath the hood. This ultimately was not a drop-in replacement and wasn't acceptable by me, so I went ahead and returned it and continued my search. In the future, it's likely that someone will make an adapter that will adapt the positive post terminal to the bolt-in style terminal that the Tesla circuit board uses. After returning the O'Reilly battery, I started an online search to try to find a battery that was suitable to replace the Tesla battery. I came across this battery from Battery Sharks. It's a Segma's Tech battery, and it looked very promising. In fact, Battery Sharks were very helpful to locate it and ship it pretty quickly to me. And the price was half the price of anyone else's price, so it was looking very promising with a 1-year warranty. However, I lined it up next to the Tesla battery again to see if it was going to make the cut. And shape, size, everything looked good. It had 2 IT terminals, but lo and behold, the battery terminals are reversed polarity. So the positive and negative terminals were on the wrong side of the battery. So Battery Sharks were kind enough to send me a return label, and this one went back to them. In the end, I couldn't find a suitable aftermarket replacement battery, so I went ahead and went to my Tesla Service Center and spent $125 on an OEM replacement battery. The only complaint that I have with this battery is that it has no warranty. So if I have it die within a year, a month, a week, it would appear that I am out my $125 and need to purchase another. Some of the forums have suggested to utilize a battery reconditioner or a repair cycle on a more advanced battery charger. I happen to have a Genesis battery charger that had a repair feature, and so I decided to give this a try. I wouldn't consider my results conclusive. I left the battery connected to the car and charged the battery through the two positive terminals underneath the nose cone. I think for this to be most effective, it needs to be on the battery directly. So you'd have to uninstall the battery anyways, and at that point you might as well just replace the battery and not give it any extra thought. In the next video of this series, I'll take you through the step-by-step process to remove the 12-volt battery and show you the tools that you'll need to remove it successfully. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at a supercharger.